All right, folks, let's get this webinar kicked off. I'm Thomas, the director of Bath2BATH, and we have George, the owner, here as well. And today we're going to talk about and really go in depth, take an in-depth look at our bathroom renovation and remodeling processes. So people will trickle in as we go, I'm sure. If you could, just keep yourself muted and go ahead and there's a little chat bar in your in the Zoom meeting. If you want to click on that and type in any questions as we go, we'll compile those and answer them at the end, as well as do a Q&A. So without further ado, let's get this started. All right, so who this webinar is for. Okay, so this webinar is for the non-technical person, the person who wants to cut through the sales hype for that many remodelers kick out. It's to get you a clear understanding of the reality of renovating your bathroom. It's also for somebody who needs to renovate their bathroom, but you're busy. You don't have time to do 50 hours of research. You don't have time to ensure that you're not getting taken advantage of. You just want somebody reliable to do that for you. And then finally, this webinar is for the household that wants to understand how amazing a bathroom renovation really can be, what this can look like, and what the whole process entails. So at this moment, I want to invite George in. George, can you talk to us about who this webinar is not for?
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, everybody that's attending our webinar today. I really appreciate you taking your time. Hopefully you're able to eat some lunch or multitask, but we're going to do the best that we can over the next 60, maybe 90 minutes at the most to kind of just talk about what our new division is doing with Bath2BATH. So the type of people that this is not necessarily for are people that are looking for just a quick cover-up Band-Aid type project, maybe lipstick on a pig, so to speak, to sell a house. We like to do things right and with purposeful intent. So we're definitely going to gear this webinar towards that. It's also not necessarily for someone who wants a cheap bathroom renovation, somebody that's just looking to do something to get it done and rip the Band-Aid off of that on your to-do list, so to speak. It's not necessarily for someone who wants to cut corners. Again, the Cleary company is our main company, the mother, so to speak, of Bath2BATH, and we have 26 years of reputation of doing things right. So Bath2BATH follows in that mode, and everything that we do is, again, with purposeful intent to make sure that it's done right so that the client, our three goals are on time, on budget, and with a raving fan at the end. So that's a little bit, Thomas, about who I feel this should appeal to.
Excellent. So George, you were the one who kind of had this vision for Bath2BATH originally. Could you talk to us a little bit first about our history, then kind of who we serve, and then how we're different than others in the Central Ohio market?
Yeah, so we use a business coach here at the Cleary company, and one of her first discoveries 5 years ago was that, boy, we're referring on a lot of people. So our marketing was working to the point that we were getting an awful lot of leads. However, some of those leads were not necessarily for projects that we would do. We would refer on to handymen and different types of electricians and plumbers and flooring people and smaller contractors than ourselves that might be able to appeal to a small bathroom renovation. And after many discussions, we realized that that did not seem to be a great model. And we had worked hard to get our phone to ring. People liked our reputation and trusted what we could do. And we were referring on this work. So we really kind of got a lot of heads together and came up with what are the majority of those leads that we're giving away. And a big component of those leads were some type of bathroom renovation. In the Cleary company, we specialize in design, build, remodeling. So it's not necessarily a fast approach. It's not necessarily a fast end product. However, it is an incredible product when we're done. And we wanted to kind of see if we could zone in a little bit, so to speak, on just the sweet spot of just bathroom renovations. So I'm trying to make it a little bit simpler, a little bit more straightforward, We do it with in-house labor, so we're able to control our costs and therefore pass it along to the client. And we're able to create some pre-made designer-inspired vignettes or collections so that clients can literally come in and take a look at those. And usually a lot of people have a good idea by looking at those 4 collections of which one they want. And then we can kind of tweak it from there. So that's kind of how it originated, Thomas, is just trying to pick up on the opportunity of the leads that we already had.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah. So who does that mean? You know, what does that client base look like then? Who are the sort of people that really can benefit from this?
Yeah. So again, at the Cleary company, a lot of times our bathrooms are starting at $35,000 and even going north of that for a full 3-piece bath, meaning a commode, a sink, and a tub or a shower. And sometimes people don't want to spend that kind of money. And so we realized that if we could streamline the process a little bit, again, do it with some in-house labor, come up with some pre-collected, really high quality fixtures. So we've really kind of partnered with Kohler and Cambria on a couple of the products that we use. So we wanted to continue the reputation that we have built strong and modify that a little bit so that it could be turned around a little bit quicker. So the people that it appeals to would be people that want to spend a little less money than typically what a design, build, remodel experience will cost. They want a little quicker turnaround for a multitude of reasons. And they need some direction. You know, they may not be a designer or be married to somebody with design tastes. So it's for people like that might resonate to that.
Okay, that's great. So you kind of mentioned some things that you thought were unique about us. Could you talk a little bit more about that? What really makes us different than other bathroom remodeling companies in the Central Ohio market?
Sure. So again, we really are kind of following the Cleary company's model of the design, build, remodel. So everything's built on a good, solid foundation of a company, really great communication with our client, giving them options. What we've noticed over the last 10 years is people don't want to look at one or two things. They want to know what types of flooring are out there. The HGTV market has been incredible for our industry. Some days it's not as great of a conversation because people believe that you can build a house in 5 days and it's $100,000 to build a whole home. But so when you can get people that are realistic about what expectations may be, it really has inspired our population of people that call us. They get to sit around and watch HGTV 24/7 and pick, bathroom collections they like or front porches. So that whole thing has really inspired our industry quite a bit. So those are the types of people that are calling us, that want to kind of have a little bit of design flair and not just be lipstick on a pig is a bad term, but it's a term that I always use for people that tend to want to just kind of jump in and do something at a quick pace and at a lesser price.
Okay, great. I really appreciate you sharing that, George. So I just want to get into a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about that unique customized process George kind of hinted on. Talk about our team members and how we make your renovation dreams a reality. As we touched on before, talk a little bit about our products, Kohler, Cambria, the sort of fine finishes we're putting in here. And we think the best way to do that is to walk through a few case studies of our work. So without further ado, we want to show you some of the most beautiful bathrooms that we've produced in the past 6 months. All right, so case study number 1 is the architect. We'll use that name for anonymity's sake. And George knows the architect personally, so I'm going to let him kind of walk us through this bathroom. I'll ask him some questions to just go a little bit deeper on this. So the architect, who was the architect?
Yeah, so I don't want to share names for privacy reasons, although she'd probably be okay with it. But she is a lady that lives in Clintonville. she, in part back to our history, we've been doing Bath to Bath for about 18 months now. And during that transition, we also bought a new building and renovated it ourselves. So it was a little slower getting off and running than we anticipated. But now that it's up and running and Thomas is our director, it's just been doing a great job. He's really leading the front on getting jobs sold and into our production pipeline. And we've got 3 other fellows in the Bath to Bath division that are just, you know, kicking can and really doing a great job. So, but yeah, so our architect from Clintonville, she was a single mother. I believe she had a high school daughter and a college age daughter. They lived in a very adorable 2-story Clintonville house, very typical. There was 1 bathroom that served the main family with a tub and wall hung sink and toilet. So for 3 ladies that like to have a lot of hair product and a lot of makeup and stuff, the 5-foot by 9-foot bathroom was very tight and not really well organized. So we really kind of showed her our 4 collections. And again, she knew who we were and knew about our company and how we do things. So she had utmost confidence in us. And it was really a great early on job. It was actually our 2nd project for Bath to Bath. But the thing that really worked well was she did not get in the way of herself. She chose one of our collections and stayed true to that from start to finish. She didn't want to change the paint color, the flooring, the wall surround, or anything. So it really worked out dynamite for her and for us, because again, our award-winning designers that have created these collections, they really understand. They have a degree in what works with what. So the color works with the textures, with the light, with the ambiance of the shower surround. All that really makes sense in all of our collections.
Okay.
So that's what she had chose to do, was really kind of stay true to one of our collections.
Okay. So yeah, we've mentioned the collections a little bit. Just to elaborate with what George said is, and to reiterate, one of the nice things about going with us is that we already have collections in place to give you inspiration, to give you a framework. So you don't have to feel like you're listless in the sea of selections and faucets and cabinets and tops and whatnot, which is great. It really gives people a good basis to work off of. But coming back to the architect, so this bathroom was their only bathroom in the house, right, George? And what were the big issues with it?
They did have a 1st floor bathroom, however,
Okay.
It did not have a bathing component, no shower or tub.
Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump in real quick. I want to jump into a little bit more about this. So this particular bathroom, I have it up here on the screen. Talk to us, George, a little bit about what sort of finishes are in there now, you know, in this picture. What wasn't working about it?
So about everything. It was a pedestal sink, and imagine 3 ladies trying to share that, or 2 of them trying to share getting ready for their day. So it was really a cramped space and just kind of a very dated feel. The light fixture had been replaced probably in the 70s. The medicine cabinet was original. I believe the toilet had been replaced probably more in the 80s. So the flooring, I believe there was another layer of vinyl sheet over top of old vinyl sheet flooring. The plumbing had really been abused over the period of 100 years that the house was. The plumbing wasn't really flowing correctly. The faucets were dripping. It was just kind of a hot mess, as I like to say. But you know, when we get to the end pictures, you'll start to see a little bit of what we were able to do to transform these people's home.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things we found in the price for this bathroom when we went to quote it. So the renovation of this bathroom cost $24,000. Now we're going to show you some pictures of the demo, because in the demo we discovered asbestos, and we discovered some electrical issues that we had to deal with. But luckily, because most of our labor is in-house, we have great relationships with remediators. We were able to do that without serious delays to timeline or serious expense issues. So let's kind of look. Oh yeah. Sorry, I got a little tripped up here. Real quick, we're only gonna we'll go through this once, talking about just what we did on the project every day, what that daily interaction looked like. I think would be really valuable for a lot of people because a lot of people don't know. So, George, would you mind talking about, what does it look like as far as the daily interaction with that architect on her job site? What did the job site look like? How was she being communicated with? That sort of thing.
Yeah, so there's always a project manager on the project that is responsible for all levels of communication. So at that point, they are responsible to make sure that the client understands what time every day that we will be there, what time we will be leaving, who else may be in the building. Make sure that we have access, because this particular lady, her children were at school and she was at work more often than not. So we had to make sure that she was comfortable with that. Being in somebody's home is always something that we take very seriously. All of our employees are background checked and verified so that we make sure that we're bringing only safe people into your home. And again, this individual had known us and had our reputation, so she wasn't too concerned about any of that. But we will give the client the option that we can email communication, face-to-face talk, talk on the phone, or text. And texting is very important to about any generation out there that we're serving, because it's just such a quick and transparent way to communicate whatever's on your mind.
Okay.
So that's for the most part what we're doing. We typically work in that 8 to 4 o'clock time period. We may be there a little earlier, or here at the office or in the shop building something to take to the project, or ending a little bit early so that we can go back to the shop and pick up something we're going to install tomorrow. So there's some times that we're not necessarily there for 8 hours a day. Typically no more than a couple people on the job, oftentimes just one, that project manager I was referring to. And we've at the end of the day, we communicate with the client so that they're aware of what's going on. And from there, typically people will sometimes on a weekly basis, keep in mind a bath-to-bath project's only taking 3 weeks or less to complete for a typical bathroom. And that's basically getting it down to studs all the way through the final brush strokes of paint. So that's a little bit about how that process is working.
Okay, great. So the COVID-19 response, obviously that's kind of like the hot button issue. So we're still working on bathrooms right now through this COVID-19 crisis. What are we doing day in and day out to kind of address that, to make sure that we're all comfortable with what's going on the job sites?
Yeah, it's a great point. We are taking it extremely serious. Everyone around here has a mask if they're coming into the office. If we're working at a job site, we have more hand sanitizer, I think, than I've used my entire life. But we have gloves and masks and different ways of protecting. We limit how many people are allowed into a project. We communicate first and foremost with the client to make sure that they are comfortable with us coming in. We monitor every employee's temperature and flu-like symptom status on a daily basis if they're going out to a job site. So any of our guys that are going to, or ladies that are going to be coming to your home, are going to have been monitored on a Google spreadsheet so that we know if they have any flu-like symptoms or temperature before we're going to allow them to come in. And then we're going to simply ask, is there anybody in the home that has flu-like symptoms or having a fever? Because we do not want to expose ourselves, nor do we want to expose our clients. So that's the main thing that we're doing, is starting with good conversation and making sure that everybody's comfortable. We're cleaning the job spaces. Aaron, our general manager here, has always referred to, if we can really communicate with our clients and really keep our job sites clean, most other things that are going to arise on a project that we're part of, we're going to be able to work through. So that's kind of the underlying theme of bath-to-bath as well, is make sure that we're really good at communication and cleanliness. So the job sites are in a better spot than they ever were, but they were not bad to begin with pre-COVID.
Great. That's great. All right. So back to the architect's bathroom here. Just wanted to point a few things out. So this is the demolished bathroom. As I mentioned before, there were some electrical issues. So some of you might be familiar looking at my pointer here. This is old knob and tube wiring that's kind of just floating out in space. And that was something that we discovered after demo, but we were able to address it rather quickly. Also, if you look at the floor tile here, this is asbestos tile. In these old houses, we do run into it sometimes, but we're fully equipped to remediate that, abate that, and not really mess up the timeline for this particular project. And this is what it looked like when it was done. Quite the transformation, for sure. George, would you kind of mind walking us through some of the things we did here?
Sure. It's really, even to me, it's baffling to think that this is the same space. In this photo that you're looking at, the very far right picture, the only thing that is original to the home is the door and the doorknob. Everything else from the drywall, and as you saw, I don't know if you understand what plaster and lath is, but this house was probably built after the turn of the century, but it still put it at about 100 years old or so. So the house was built really solid. So that takes a while to demolish and to get underway. But some of the products that we're going to see here are, vanities. We wanted some type of storage for these three ladies to be able to store some of their products. So we updated the electricity so that they have GFI protected outlets and switches that actually work. Power that wasn't going to be faulty or unsafe. Dimmer switches so that if they wanted to shave their legs while they were in the shower, they would have a nice bright light to be able to do that. But if they wanted to sit there and take a bubble bath, they could have it just on kind of as a night light. Again, we're a really big supporter of Kohler products because it is a great product. They offer a lot of offerings from different finishes to different collections. They're really innovative in the engineering department, the design department there.
So what are some of the Kohler products in this bathroom?
Yes, so the faucet that you're seeing there on the vanity is a Kohler product. The sink is a Kohler product. On the far left, the bathtub is a Kohler product. The shower valve and the shower head, the shower curtain bar, the robe hooks, the towel bars, the accessories are all Kohler. The wall surround system that we used in this particular bathroom is by Kohler. It's called Choreograph, and it's a panel system that we really like. And it is engineered in such a way so that there is no grout. There's not a lot of maintenance. It's a really cool feeling product. It's not like a cheap fiberglass surround. It's definitely a thicker, more durable product, and Kohler wouldn't bought into it if they didn't like it. So the one thing that unfortunately we can't see here in the back panel is what they call a shower locker, and it's available in a couple sizes. And it's a really innovative way. This family loved it because of product storage. They had a lot of conditioners and shampoos and soaps and all of that type of stuff.
Yeah, you almost have floor to ceiling storage there, it looks like.
Exactly. And the shelves are adjustable so that if you had like a Sam's Club type conditioner bottle, you could move one shelf up to a higher shelf. It's got a place to hang a razor, a place to hang a toothbrush, really nice accessories available by Kohler.
And you can
the other cool thing, Thomas, is you can take those pieces out and put them in the dishwasher and clean them. So you're never going to have that funky, time in the shower trying to clean everything off.
Well, that's great. Well, hey folks, just as a reminder, feel free to shoot us some questions as we go along in the chat box, specifically about bathrooms, products, anything we've said as we go along here. We're going to move on to the next bathroom. That kind of next case study shows us something a little bit different now. So, all right. This particular client was thrilled with the project, and we wanted to share a little bit of video on that, just so that you can hear not only our words, but theirs as well. So by the way, real quick, this may be a little bit quiet on your phones or on whatever device you're using. So you might want to crank the volume up real quick so you can hear this short clip.
My name is Dennis Rankin. I work with Bath2BATH on my bathroom remodeling. Working with the designer was my first experience. We were looking to have a bathroom put in at a quick time frame, and I'm very, very happy with the end product. I would recommend Bath2BATH to other homeowners. The crew was very considerate of my time, my property, and they were very clean. I think they have a very good product. If you want to modify that product, I think they work with you to blend the look as well as functionality together.
All right, so let's keep rocking and rolling through here.
Hey, I'm just curious if you saw the question that I placed in the chat there.
Oh, no, I did not. Do you ever add walls or take down walls? Great, that's a great question. We'll get to that at the end for sure, Michael. All right, so on to case study number 2, Christmas or else. That sounds a little bit daunting. It maybe wasn't Christmas or else, but it was definitely by Christmas. We had to get this particular bathroom done. All right, so this particular bathroom was done for a young family who was not living in Columbus. They wanted a partner they could trust. They wanted somebody who could work long distance with them, something that we had already mastered pre this COVID-19 phenomenon. And they needed this bathroom done fast before moving in. We'll take a look at the bathroom here in a minute. I actually have a 360-degree photo of it that I can kind of pivot and turn around. It's one of the new technologies that we're using, so I'll get to kind of go deep with you guys with that. But you'll see that the bathroom was a little bit dated. So this couple was looking for a particular aesthetic and modernization. Now, there were actually 2 upstairs bathrooms, 2 full bathrooms in this house that we remodeled. We're going to kind of showcase one of them. But just so you know, doing multiple bathrooms in a house is very common for us here at Bath2BATH. In fact, I dare say it might be up to close to 50% of the jobs that we do are multiple baths done simultaneously. It gives savings to you, the customer. It helps us with our efficiencies. And it allows you to have 2 bathrooms done with only the amount of headache of 1. Because we're only there once. We're not there 2 different times. We're only bringing tools in and putting a dumpster on site and going through that whole process once. So just something to definitely consider. If you have 2 bathrooms in the home or more, we do that all the time.
And Thomas, can I chime in there?
Yeah, please.
I know the answer, but is there a savings to that?
Yeah, there definitely is. So that savings is usually something that we discuss while we're developing it, and it varies. It kind of varies widely based on the projects, but you can usually save $1,000 or more, depending. So it's a great question, George. All right, so this particular client was looking for a subway tile for their finishes, warm, natural colors, and they wanted as much storage space as possible. So I'm going to switch my screen over. I'm going to switch it to a new share. I'm going to share with you guys the 360-degree view here. Can you all see this 360-degree picture?
Yes.
Looking good? Great. Okay. So this bathroom is really interesting. It is a master bathroom, but it's a small master bathroom. The big issue that they had just functionally was that they have this beautiful pedestal sink here, but there's no storage. There's nowhere to put all of the stuff that you need in a master bathroom. So that was one of the big things that they wanted gone and updated. Another thing was this bathtub. While it has some cool features with the shower heads and whatnot, the bathtub itself they didn't think was very functional for day in and day out living. They much preferred a shower, and they wanted something that you didn't have to step up into like that. So we ended up doing a 0 entry shower here, which means that the shower floor and the floor for the bathroom were the same height. It was really cool.
So Thomas, tell us a little bit more about why that's such a popular trend right now, the 0 threshold.
Yeah, that's a great question. So the 0 threshold is really popular because it allows for any mobility issues that might pop up, any health issues further down the line, or just accessibility issues in general to be totally mitigated. Because there's less that your feet have to do getting into the shower. It's one less place to slip. It's one less place to get caught up on. Also, it's a sleek design. It looks really cool. It just does. And it makes it very easy to clean your floors. It makes it very easy to age in place. But we're seeing it as a major trend across the industry. That's in new construction, that's in remodel. It's for folks that want to do aging in place. It's for folks that just love the aesthetic. It's something that's been in Europe for a long time, and it's kind of making its way here. So this bathroom, one other thing to just mention is you kind of see that there's some fine tile work in here. You know, they didn't cheap out on that. Whoever redid this bathroom, I'm guessing it was the early 2000s, maybe the 90s, but they didn't cheap out on it. But I got to say, we started to pull this shower surround apart, and this tile almost peeled off the wall. It fell off in chunks. And as beautiful as it looks right now, they had not done the proper techniques to adhere it to the wall behind. So it was a really good thing that we were in there remodeling that space. Even though it might not look like it's falling apart, it was falling apart.
Thomas, did you say that looks beautiful?
Well, to some people, George.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna get us back to my other screen. Is everybody seeing our notes now?
Yep.
Great, okay. So in this situation, the master bath cost $30,000. You might be thinking to yourself, well, that's a lot for a small bathroom. So we'll talk about that a little bit. What made it, that? The hall bath cost a cool $26,000, and I have a few pictures of that, so you can see that as well. Some of the things that did tick up the master quite a bit is that 0 entry shower. It is really cool, but it does come with a little bit more of a price increase. You'll see in our finished pictures, we did some custom glass, we did custom tile in the shower. It looks absolutely incredible, and it's fitting for a master bath. So this is what the bathroom looked like when we were in the process of demoing it. As you can see over in the far picture on the left, that's our toilet area. There actually was some water damage underneath. This is right above their entry to the house, and there was substantial water damage. So we had to do some investigation in there, kind of fix some of the plumbing. Over here in the middle, you'll see the demo area, which is the shower. And here on the floor is this orange looking thing. Well, that's actually the foundation, the beginning of our waterproofing. When we do tile showers, we use a product called Schluter Systems, which waterproofs the shower before tile ever touches it. It's really cool, it's innovative, and it helps to mitigate a lot of the issues that were already there. The substrate, as we call it, the backing for the tile that was in that shower previously was wrong. It didn't keep moisture out. It wasn't an effective water barrier, and so that tile was pulling off the wall. So that never happens with our installs. And here is the area where the vanity is going to appear here in a couple slides. You can kind of get an idea of what's behind the walls and kind of the guts that are there. And here's the final product. Just take a minute to soak it in. Every time I see it, I just soak it in a little bit. It is a total transformation here. So over here on the left, this is the hall bathroom. When you walk right up the stairs, you have this beautiful vanity framed in there. Once again, using a lot of the products that George mentioned before, a Cambria top, Kohler fixtures. This stuff comes together really well. Over up here in the middle, this is our shower area, and it features a Kohler product that we really think highly of. It's their Hydro Rail system, they call it, and it allows for a shower head. There are a myriad of choices, as well as a hand shower. And this is that area where that vanity went. I was just referring to that picture of the demo. This is that vanity in place. And think about that pedestal sink that was there before. Look at all the storage in this. It's just wild how much storage we put into this bathroom while still keeping it open. A lot of that has to do with this glass here. Because the bathroom's small, it's hard to get that full shower view. But you can see this custom glass here, and if you look down below, you can see that there's no threshold. There's no step up into this shower. The floor of the shower and the floor of the bathroom are just kind of one, and the glass keeps the water out from the other side. And then over here on the right, we have that hall bath. And once again, you can kind of see the custom tile here, the shower niches in the surround, all Kohler products, including what many of you would think is a shelf, but is actually a grab bar, a decorative grab bar here on this back wall. All right, so just another reminder, keep those questions coming. We'll answer those at the end. Like I said, specific products, questions are great. I'm gonna keep going. We got one more bathroom to go through, and then we'll kind of open this up to questions. George, do you have anything you want to add here?
The product shelf that you were referring to, or the grab bar in the bathroom, if you were to flip back, which I don't know that we need to do, but I think you can probably envision the grab bars in that original tiled bathroom kind of looked institutional. So things today can be really sleek and modern. And again, that's why we like to partner with Kohler, is because some of their products are really, that's a product shelf. But if you needed it because you were shaving your leg or trying to get out of that bathtub and you wanted a little extra stability, we want to make sure that we have all those discussions up front. Something else, Thomas, that we do is we put blocking for grab bars regardless who we're working for. Whether you're a 30-year-old or a 95-year-old individual that might need better stability, we always want to predict and prepare for the future. So we like doing that. And then lastly, on the Cambria, I hadn't really gotten to that on the countertops. Cambria is literally the best countertop out there if you like that solid surface type look. We happen to be darn near infatuated with it. Almost all of our projects at bath2BATH and the Cleary Company have Cambria involved in it. And there's a lot of reasons behind it. Just because of the same reasons that we wanted to partner with Kohler, we wanted to partner with the best of the best. We consider ourselves at bath2BATH the best of the best in this type of remodeling atmosphere. So we, of course, want to partner ourselves with people that can reinforce that. And again, Cambria is just such a luxurious looking product. A lot of times it can be expensive, but typically in a bathroom, it's one of those areas that people really appreciate, that you can kind of spoil yourself. And it's part of our model with bath2BATH is to really make this as much like a spa-like experience as we can for the end user for many years to come. It will never wear out. So just wanted to kind of express my thoughts on that. And a couple last quick things in these photos are the mirrors. We can go and buy something from Pottery Barn if you find something at a store that you happen to like. But Kohler and Sterling, one of their sister companies, has a lot of great product offerings as far as mirrors. They have some that are LED lit, backlit. We really like to introduce technology anytime that we can. So there's a lot of great options. And then on the shower doors, I'm personally a really big fan of thicker glass shower doors. Mm-hmm. So if we can, if a client can justify spending a few $100s more on a shower door, sometimes it's a really nice feel. The thinner glass will surely repel water, but the thicker glass just makes you appreciate the quality a little bit more every time you get in and out of it.
That's great. Thanks, George. So this is what these customers had to say. Remember, these are our Christmas clients. We had to get it in there fast, but this is what they were most impressed with. They said, we're a top-notch company to work with. We have amazing professionalism and attention to detail. And they reiterated it again. Their eye for the little detail was incredible. We were able to step back, let them do their job, and have faith that our vision was being carried out. So these were great clients. I can't lie. I still like talking to them. They were such good. They enjoyed the whole thing so much that now they're doing work with our parent company, the Cleary company. So I think that speaks volumes.
Thomas, I'll kind of chime in there real quick while you're queuing up this next gentleman, but we found that a lot, which was kind of an unexpected surprise that, you know, a lot of what the Cleary company does are huge projects, and it might involve a whole house renovation. So we found a lot of times people are like, but we're going to have to live in part of the house while you're renovating the other part of the house. And it'd be just nice if we could get one bathroom just taken care of so that we can all as a family share that bathroom while you're renovating the other part of the house. So we've done that on a couple times where we've been able to fast forward a project into bath-to-bath to get them something that they can enjoy and live with through the renovation process. So that's been kind of a nice thing. And then again, just to reiterate what Thomas had said, another kind of unexpected bonus for us has been people see the value in doing both projects at once. Maybe it's a hall bathroom and the master, maybe it's two guest bathrooms or a half bath even. There is a value there and a time savings. So it's definitely something to consider if you have a couple bathrooms.
All right, excellent. So yeah, let's watch what Kirk has to say. Kirk is one of my favorite clients. Kirk had a great relationship with our project manager, Pete. In fact, I would walk in there and Pete is a phenomenal jokester in all the appropriate ways. And the two of them just got along swimmingly. I don't know if Kirk's going to drop any jokes here, but he certainly had high things to say about us.
So I would
You might want to
definitely
control the volume.
bath-to-bath and Cleary Company, primarily because they listen. They have personnel that will not overwhelm you. You know, during the construction, you know that you're going to be torn up, but they put up a zip wall. They made sure that they were cleaned and out of there, you know, at a reasonable time every day. I think the quality of the materials, the quality of the workmanship, the attitude of the guys that were on site every day in terms of communicating, in terms of the quality of their craftsmanship. Overall, it was a fantastic experience.
All right, well, Kirk said it, and he wasn't joking either. His bathroom turned out really nice. Okay, so our final case study, this is the empty nesters. We see these clients quite a bit. Excuse me. All right, so this couple was empty nesters. They had 3 boys, big boys, who were on their way out of the house, were in college. And this family had slowly remodeled most of their downstairs, and they were working their way up. They'd done a kitchen remodel. They'd done a living room remodel. They'd remodeled, they'd actually done an addition off the back. They did quite a bit of work, and so they were seasoned remodelers. The big reason that they wanted to get out of or get their bathroom upstairs renovated is because the boys had really beat it up. I am one of 3 boys, and I know what we did to our parents' house. And I'm sure that many of you can imagine how boys beat up a bathroom. Now that the boys were out of the house, it was time to put something nice in there for guests and for family. So this was just a one bathroom upstairs in the hall area. Interestingly enough, they're now on the Cleary company side doing their master bathroom. So once again, another client who started out with bath-to-bath. We did one of their projects. They loved it so much. They said, hey, let's do the master and let's just go crazy. So this client was is in Upper Arlington. And as I mentioned before, they were experienced in remodeling, so they were looking for an experienced remodeler, somebody who specialized in bathrooms, but they wanted some flexibility in design with their finishes. They didn't need to move anything around. They didn't need to do anything crazy. They weren't knocking out walls, but they wanted to be able to select a few things that they want in particular, like mirrors and lights and that sort of thing. And that's something that we do. We have our vignettes here. We have our collections. They've been put together by our award-winning designers, but they allow for some flexibility. And we definitely work with you to get the bathroom that you want. They also wanted a classic style which fit their house, but they did want to make sure that they added those custom elements. Just kind of take it above and beyond. So this is what we came to assess. They had actually remodeled this bathroom in the mid-90s, I believe it was. So they'd already remodeled this bathroom once. They were not happy. Down the line here, it was definitely time to remodel it again. You can see that the cabinet is a bit dated with the Formica sort of countertops. The shower surround itself looks very institutional, very, kind of white 4x4 subway, very institutional looking, small tub in there. And they had some issues. Their tile and their baseboards, it wasn't in good shape. So it was really time to update this bathroom.
Hey, Thomas, let me chime in there. What about that soffit? Do you guys take out a lot of soffits? Do you keep them in?
Yeah. Let's bounce back to that. I would say, George, that 95% of the bathrooms that we remodel have a soffit. That's, this built out area above a tub, above a shower, above a vanity area, and we take them out. That's because once you take those out, you add so much light in. So if you look at this shower, imagine showering in this. You have a soffit, which draws the ceiling down closer to you. There's no light in there. There's a curtain that's barely opaque. I mean, it's like showering in a cave. Nobody likes cave showers. So when we come in, we nearly always, unless the client doesn't want it, we nearly always take these out. We put in some can lights. We put in some additional lighting, a lighted mirror, whatever it might be, so that now all of a sudden you can actually see what you're cleaning when you're in the shower or see what you're trying to clean up or do makeup when you're looking in the mirror above the vanity. So it's a great question, George. So here's what this whole thing looked like while we were remodeling it. You can see over here on the left, that's that vanity area. Once again, we keep things clean. What you're gonna see on your job site at the end of every day is you're gonna see Pete's little trash can, which this is honestly the cutest little trash can. You're gonna see all of the accoutrement for cleaning, and your job site's going to be clean. Now, remodeling is messy. It is dirty, but it doesn't have to be extraordinarily painful. You don't have to have chunks of lumber floating around the house. And we go the extra mile to make sure it's clean, to make sure it's tidy, and that you're comfortable with it. This picture over here in the middle, that's kind of that tub shower area. We took this all the way back to the studs. That's something else that's a little bit different about us. When we come in to remodel your bathroom, we're not comfortable with hiding things behind the walls. We're not comfortable with, oh, this leaked for a while, we're just gonna cover it up and keep going on. No, we wanna get to the root of it. We hate leaving job sites feeling like it's not complete. It drives the guys nuts. If a client wants to potentially use something that was old or says, no, you can just leave that little part. They wanna know that at the end of the project, it's 110% ready to go. There are no question marks. That's how we like to do business, and that's how we like to feel at the end of it. And you can see over here, taking out the tile, we have Angelico here, one of our guys. We take the necessary safety precautions for ourselves. He's wearing a West respirator, making sure that behind this door there's plastic to seal this whole thing off, so that this whole mess that's going on in here is something you never have to experience. And this is what the thing looked like when it was done.
Quite a difference.
Yeah.
So again, some more Cambria products there on the countertops with the side and the backsplashes, the rotating mirror there. Again, those could be even Kohler lights. I'm not positive of that, but we always try and get everything to kind of match the best of our ability. We are surely not going to be going to Lowe's or Home Depot to buy any type of fixture. We love those big box stores, but we are not buying any of our products there. We're in there weekly, but usually to get a piece of drywall, an extra 2x4 stud, or some duct tape, things of that nature. Not necessarily to buy our products that we will be installing for you. On the right picture there, you have another one of those grab bars underneath their little bathing brush. And then above you have a custom tile niche with different shelving for different types of products and different heights of products. And then on the left, finally, you have the shower surround with the shower head, the removable handheld shower. And again, when I say we use a Kohler curtain rod, it may not seem like much, but I think everybody has fought with some kind of curtain rod at some point in their life, and it's not necessarily a fun fight. So we always want to use something that's going to be really good and durable for a client.
Yeah, so George, you've been talking a lot about the Cambria countertops. What is the material for those? Are those marble? Are those?
Yeah, it's a quartz product. So
Okay.
in my opinion, it's the best quartz out there. And quartz is, in my layman's terms, I always say it's granite made by God, crumbled up, and they add a lot of different types of things to it to give it different colors or patterns, or there's a lot of different edging opportunities. So if you want just a pencil edge, which is very common, versus a bullnose edge or something even fancier, we can show you all different types of edges that we can do. We use a lot, if not all, undermount sinks. Really gives you that crisp look there, where we can really seal that up against the top so that you don't have any caulking or grime line underneath of there. Again, Cambria is just, I've visited the factory, and it's an unbelievable process. It's an American-made product, which is something that we really love about Cambria. And but again, to see the ethics in the rigidness of their business model up at the factory, it was just incredible to see how devoted they are to making the best product that they can. And it's not necessarily cheap. So if somebody's really on a budget, we're going to do everything that we can to try and bring it in at a price point that you're going to be able to be at. But again, it's one of those things. It's kind of like an accessory or a little bling to your project. It'll really make that whole end collection in your bathroom that you're going to use on a multiple times a day. You're going to be really thrilled with it.
Yeah, that's great. And you mentioned one thing before I'd like to elaborate a little bit on, George. So you talked about how we're not getting, our faucets, we're not getting our grab bars from Lowe's, from the big box stores. One of the reasons, or one of the big reasons that we don't do that, is because the quality just isn't there. And even if you were to go to a big box store and buy one of these faucets off the shelf, one of these Kohler faucets, you wouldn't be getting the same quality of Kohler product that we can get you. Oftentimes it might look the same and be similar, but the stuff that we have access to as a design, build, remodel firm is going to be worlds above. You'll feel it the first time you touch it. You touch one of these Kohler fixtures, the first time you stick your hand on the valve trim and you move the lever, you know the difference between this and the stuff from Lowe's. It's going to hold up. It's going to last. It's going to come with that warranty. It's going to come with that design in mind. You can't walk into Lowe's and get this good looking of a grab bar. You just can't. You can't get that quality. You can't get that innovation that we really want to be a hallmark of our business. And I was actually here when these clients said this, so I just got a kick out of this. But they walked into their bathroom for one of the first times, and they'd seen it as it had gone throughout the process, but a week before it had looked like a wreck. And then at the end of that week, they popped their head in for the closeout while we were there to just go over it with them. and they were amazed. They just stood there with their mouths wide open, and they said, wow, it feels like a 5-star hotel. And it really does. It feels great in there. But that's all of our projects. All of our projects are like that. We don't leave a project without having it feel like a 5-star bathroom. We don't feel comfortable leaving it any other way. All right, so we got through those 3 projects, but we're so excited about everything we've done this year that we wanted to show you a few more to kind of highlight some cool things that we have. George, I think you know a little bit about this project. Can you talk to me about some of the cool features here?
Yeah, and Thomas, maybe just as a courtesy, we're at about 55 minutes into this, and I know Michael had a question early on, and just in the event that somebody has to boogie off, I want to be able to give anybody the time that you have for a question. So is that all right with your format, Thomas, if we just kind of maybe come back to this and make sure if there's anybody, we are going to have a question and answer session towards the end, but in case somebody has to log off because their lunch hour is over or they got to go take a nap, that'd be a nice treat for you. But anyway, Michael or anybody, is there any question that anybody really has to get off their mind so that you don't neglect it?
Yes, stick it up here and we'll try to get that answered in the next minute.
Michael, you can even log on if you're still with us. Just unmute yourself and ask us.
Yeah, so one of the questions that I see here from Michael is, do you ever add walls or take down walls to redesign the space? It's a great question, Michael. So typically we're not taking down walls to redesign the space on our side of the building with our part of the company. So
with bath2BATH is what he means.
Yeah, with bath2BATH. So our parent company, the Cleary company, does it all day long. It's just a little bit more involved, and it's not something that that we're doing on the bath2BATH end day in and day out. We still can offer that. It's just through our parent company, the Cleary company.
I see. So kind of, it's possible, just it's a team up, and it just kind of looks a little different in terms of how it's structured.
Correct. We call it a hybrid. Yes.
So Michael, maybe for an example, see this picture that's up that Thomas is showing us right now, where that has that knee wall between the bathtub and the shower. A lot of times that wall is there and it's already going all the way to the ceiling. And what we've learned a lot through design recently, trends are we want more natural light. We want spaces to feel more open and more airy. So we are very capable of saying, maybe we open up this wall and we add an extra panel of glass up there and allow some of that natural light to bounce in. Something else that we do a lot is clear glass showers, as you're seeing in most of these pictures that have had glass doors. It's probably 99.9% of the time we're using clear glass. Why would you want to hide, some of the nice products that we put in there? So for the most part, we're solely doing thick, clear glass doors to allow that natural light to bounce around.
So yeah, for me, I just, I have the master bath. It's small, but I'm just thinking, like, is it possible to reimagine the space, a little bit, since I'm going to be changing things, and how far does that go with bath2BATH, and how far does that get it? It sounds like it gets into Cleary company a little bit.
Yeah, it just depends, and that it all starts with just a conversation, and we are in essence the same company. Everybody in bath2BATH gets paid by a Cleary company check, so to speak. So it's just a different product offering, and if we need to kind of hybrid between both portions of the business, we're more than happy to do that to make sure that you have the best experience you can. So I wouldn't let that get in your way. We'll figure it out for you.
Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate it. Great information here. Thank you.
Great.
So,
thank you.
So George, Emma asks, how do you plan for the ease of cleaning bathrooms? Yeah. And I think this bathroom here shows off a lot of that. Could you talk about that a little?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Emma. I saw that in the taskbar. So any more questions, feel free to load them up on there or on the chat bar. So yeah, again, the glass is always going to be something that is a little bit of a concern to keep clean. We just recently, about a year and a half ago, put in a nice master shower, and I used a lot of glass, and it's worth the effort for me to keep it clean because it's such a beautiful inside. So in this particular shower that we're looking at, I'll start at the base. You can see this is not a zero threshold like Thomas was talking about in one of those previous bathrooms. This is a threshold that you have to stand and step over. But again, we can step over that, and then we get into, we could have used either a shower receptor, something by Kohler or Sterling, or we could have used a hand-laid tile base, and that's what we did over top of a Kerdi membrane, or a Schluter membrane, sorry. And then we actually hand lay the tile on those membranes to keep them waterproof and water resistant. Now the walls here, Emma, what we used were thick porcelain, large format tiles. So each wall is one piece of tile, if you will. So it's a huge piece of tile that has to be transported gingerly and has to be cut precisely and drilled. But that's the beauty of like the Kohler choreograph that we were showing in one of the other ones. You don't have a lot of grout lines. So it's a really nice product to be able to use on the walls. A lot of different textures and colors available in this. And then, you know, if you look at the fixture on the left, the Kohler tub, it's a very high resin acrylic tub so that you don't have a lot of soap residue that's going to cling to it. It's not just a fiberglass tub, but it's a nice acrylic base, so it's going to be something that's going to be more easily cleaned. And you know, the fixtures themselves, the doorknob on the shower door, all of that, we try and use things that are really kind of sleek so that they're not going to hold a lot of gum and grime and dirt residue.
So George mentioned the walls here in this shower. These are porcelain panels, as he said. And what's really cool about these, something we're very excited about, is, like he said, the cleaning part of it, no grout. Also how it looks. Let me give you a little key in here. So the top of this curb where my pointer is, that's Arabasco marble. That stuff retails for $100 a square foot. That's the real deal. This bottom part of the curb and these walls is porcelain tile. It looks identical. You cannot tell the difference. That's how far a lot of this technology comes. It looks like a sheet of marble on the wall, except you don't have to do any of the cleaning or maintenance that you would for a sheet of marble. And that brings me to the next question. It looks like Emma has another question. She says, do these fancy finishes, fixtures, etc., require special cleaning and cleaning materials? Can you tell that she's all about cleaning? Yes, you are all about cleaning, Emma. That's great, though. That's great. George, could you kind of talk about that? Like, how do you clean these things?
Yeah, they're really not going to require anything more than a fantastic or a 409 type, you know, multi-purpose cleaning product. You know, you definitely don't want to use any type of Comet or anything with a grit to it on any of these fixtures. That's a good way to, you know, long-term ruin something. But for the most part, they're very easily cleaned, Emma. Something else too, if we look at the picture on the left, again, back to the Cambria and the easy flow that goes right into the sink. It's nice and easy. There's no grit or grime lines there, or ribs where a drop-in sink might protrude up above it. So there's nowhere that you're going to spill toothpaste or shaving cream or soap residue. And then if you look at that mirror, the frame around it, the band of white is actually an LED light that is dimmable. So again, if you wanted to use that just as an ambient light, if you were taking a bath, or if you were using it as a night light, it could be done like that. So you don't have to turn on a light in the middle of the evening when you're going in to use a restroom. But you can also crank it up and put makeup on. And Emma, for people like you that are really concerned about cleaning, it's a different look, but imagine not having to change a light bulb in there or to clean the glass globes or the fabric fixture, that might be up there, the shaded type fixtures that you've seen. So these two sinks here are single mount, one handle, so you don't have, two different handles and the faucet to clean. So we really are trying to, think about all of that long-term for the client experience.
That's great, George. Let's see here. Oh, we got another question from April. What type of flooring do your collections come with? Tile, wood, vinyl?
Right.
What are we putting in these bathrooms, George?
Yeah, so we had not gotten to that yet, but we use LVT tile, which are luxury vinyl tile for the most part. Again, keep in mind we're welcome to use different products. If somebody has to have a ceramic tile floor or something of that sort, we're happy to listen to whatever your desires are. But we really have darn near fallen into love with luxury vinyl tile, and its acronym is LVT. Really holds up great. It's warmer than tile. For the most part, it's less expensive than tile. Comes in really cool, innovative tile and stone patterns, wood patterns, wide plank, old historical looking hand scraped floors can be created out of an LVT. Really a beautiful product. If somebody would have told me I would have been as excited as I am the last year about vinyl flooring, I would have said they're crazy. But it is a product that I have used actually twice in my own home, and with great results. I really love the product. Eventually you will be able to heat underneath of it. There's a couple manufacturers of the flooring that will allow you to heat underneath, but that is a thing that if somebody really wants a heated floor, we don't want you to be the guinea pig of putting a new heated floor mat that's an expense underneath of something that we don't have past experience with. But again, the tile is typically cool or cold. The vinyl is typically a little warm to cool. So it's really nice when you're getting out of the shower, or you're getting up in the morning and going into the restroom. Instead of standing on a cold floor, it's a little more warm, and it's very resilient. They're planks, so if you ruin a piece by dropping, something heavy on it, I don't know what you would have in the bathroom that you could physically break that type of LVT, but if you did, we could more easily replace it than a ceramic or a porcelain tile.
It's great, George. So I put another picture up here on the screen, another one of our favorite bathrooms. Like I said, keep those questions coming. We got plenty of time to answer them for sure. But what's really cool about this bathroom, and it kind of shows it a little bit more what George was talking before, the storage unit here. And what I really love about this is the way that the grab bar here is laid out. So I wish I could put a little person on this screen, but imagine this, ladies and gentlemen, particularly you ladies. You're going to shave your legs in the shower. There's a little footrest right here. You can put your leg up here, you can hold on to this grab bar, and you can shave. I've shown so many people how to do this in our showroom because we have one of these displayed, and they love it. It's so great because you get the stability, you get the function. Oh yeah, and you get all the function, north to south up here too. You can also see a little bit here. I love this little feature. These grab bars, if you want to use it more like a shelf, there's a clip-on teak shelf that clips right on top of it. Really cool feature.
Hey, Thomas, tell us about that. Go back that picture there.
Yeah.
Tell us about that shower head.
Oh yeah, that's a great one, George. So George mentioned before technology in the bathroom. For a lot of us, I think that that comes with some connotations. How do water and electricity mix? I'm a plumber. That's my background. And so that's always a question I have. Well, they're figuring it out. They figured out how to make these things mix well. If you look closely here, I'm going to circle this. This is a shower head up here from Kohler. And at the center of the shower head is a detachable Bluetooth speaker. So for all of you that love singing in the shower, I might raise my hand for that. This is a great option, and it's really pretty inexpensive. You can get a Bluetooth speaker in the shower, and like I said, it's detachable, it's magnetic, it just sticks up in there, it's waterproof. And if you want to, you can take it with you all over the place, around the house. I'm pretty sure George's kids have taken it pretty much everywhere in the house, even on family trips, right, George?
I don't recall a family trip, but I have found it out on our front porch and in our, not in our bonfire, thank God, but out by the bonfire where they just use that little detachable Bluetooth speaker. And but it is great for any of us that like to get up and listen to a telecast, a podcast, or radio, or music, whatever you're listening to. You can literally take it with you from room to room and finish. It just syncs automatically when you enter the room onto whatever it is that you want to listen. So really great quality, and it's waterproof, so you don't have any worries about that.
Mm-hmm.
A couple other things I'd like to quickly talk about in this particular shower. This was a past client that probably 20 years ago, we renovated just the shower of this bathroom. They had X amount of money. They were raising or bearing 3 young children. Went to school with this gentleman, or his older brother anyway. And so they knew what type of business we did, and we went in and we just kind of retrofit a shower into this space that lasted them, again, maybe 15 or 20 years until they really wanted to kind of decompartmentalize. The bathroom had like 2 different spaces to it. There was a wall dividing the vanity from the bathroom and the toilet. So we took that out in this recent phase where we did, to make it all one big open space, and enabled us to put that other panel of glass there that we're looking on. So a repeat client that had us come back to kind of kick it up a notch, so to speak. But at the very top of that panel of glass, you'll see a couple little metal hooks. Those are robe hooks on the outside. So for his and her robes, we just took those off during the photo shoot. Another thing that we always like to do in the roof there is some ventilation. We want to make sure, by city code, as long as you have an operable window, you really don't need a fan. But who wants to open up the window in the middle of January? Not many people. So we like to make sure that we talk about ventilation, because we don't want to build this beautiful space for you only to then have it start getting deteriorated, the weeks after we're gone.
Yeah, that's great. Those are great little tips and pointers there, George. Here's another bath that we finished recently. And the reason that we really liked this bath is because, one, the couple was great, and they had a dog whose name, Pete, was the same name as our project manager, Pete, on the job. So they constantly got confused, and it was hilarious. But also because this shows off some of our tile work, which is something that we do quite a bit of. This is a marble look tile that the client chose with the help of one of our designers to put this whole bathroom together. And I think what's interesting and kind of cool about this bathroom too is that I imagine there are a lot of you on this call right now, or of folks that have bathroom layouts just like this. You have the shower, the tub in the back. This was a tub, and we converted it over to a shower. You have a double vanity over here with the toilet sandwiched in between. And sometimes it's hard to imagine, how could I make this space any better? Well, in this particular instance, there was a soffit up here above the vanity. There was a soffit above the shower. And like I said before, we took those out. We put in the light. We added this lighted mirror. And man, this space just totally pops. So different than before. I mean, it's luxury. It's like something that you would find in a 5-star hotel, like that other client said. And this is stuff that we're doing every day. All of these bathrooms that we're showing you, these aren't exceptions. They're just exceptional views of these bathrooms. This is the sort of work that we do every day. We're working with these same materials every single day. And we're also working with really great clients. We have, I like to joke that we have a type here at Bath2BATH, but it's folks that are down to earth. They value quality, they value professionalism, and they want to build relationships. So all of our project managers are very social guys, and our project developer, Jade, is wonderful as well. They're so easy to get along with. They're so easy to have in your home, to communicate with. I think every single client that Dan has, one of our project managers, on their reviews, they say so easy to communicate with, so easy to communicate with. And that's because we take the time to figure out how you communicate. We take the time to figure out what are your needs and your desires, and how are we going to implement those. So are there any other questions before we kind of get towards the end here? Feel free to to type those in the chat, or if you can't find the chat, if you want to unmute yourself and just throw it out there, feel free. We just don't want chaos to reign. Any questions from anybody? All right, so one final cool bathroom here that's going to show off a different part of our business and what we do. George, I think you're familiar with this bathroom. Could you talk a little bit about it for us?
Absolutely. So this is a multi-time past client that we've worked for 20 plus years. And her husband had sadly had some medical conditions. So they needed to drop life change for them overnight. So we had to really kind of get into this bathroom, which was in a 1940 Cape Cod home, and really kind of renovate it as quickly as possible. So of course the bath-to-bath model really fit well into that. But he's in a wheelchair still to this day, and this was our first client for bath-to-bath. So probably about 18 months ago, if I were to take a stab at that. So we tore out some walls here to give it a little bit more room, because it was apparent that he was going to be coming home in a wheelchair. And so again, we wanted to give them as much space as they could. So Michael, again, we're more than willing and able to help in redesigning completely if need be. But for this individual, we couldn't really take out too many walls, but we could shorten some walls so that if you were going to the commode with a wheelchair, or going into the shower with an assisted chair, you would have a little bit more elbow room, so to speak. We put a bidet seat on, which is very popular today. All of our bathrooms, we like to at least talk about it. It's an awkward conversation. A lot of people don't really feel comfortable using a bidet or having that conversation, but it's a great product out there. And jokingly, with the lack of toilet paper that's been available in the marketplace, they've maybe been flying off the shelves just as much. So it just simply requires a water connection and a outlet that we can do. So even if nothing else, we also have a third division here at the Cleary Company called Home Services. So it's a glorified handyman type of service. So again, on our past clients, we always want to be able to service you folks, but even to the bigger community, we want to be able to offer those types of services for small projects that really don't involve design, maybe fix a bunch of rotten framing or posts on your porch and things like that. But one of the things that we talk about in the home services is the retrofit of a toilet seat to put in a bidet seat. Not something that a typical homeowner is going to be able to do, but you don't necessarily need a design build remodeler to do. You just need somebody with some drywall, paint, possibly framing and electric and plumbing experience. So that's what we did there. You can see the grab bars on the left and the right that we put in for this gentleman. And then the shower was, again, a Kohler unit with a choreographed wall kit, the Bluetooth Moxie head shower, so he can listen to music or podcast while he's in the shower, and the handheld. So if somebody needed to assist in showering somebody, you could do that. So that's that project.
Oh, sorry, George. So I did want to introduce this real quick before we're done. Because of COVID-19, we are offering some special financing, which we've had a few folks take advantage of right away. We know it's a hard time for a lot of people, but we're a small business here in Columbus, and we love your support, especially if you already had a bathroom remodel planned or in mind. So we're offering 0% down, 0% interest for 12 months. That's an exceptional deal. It's the best that I've seen, in the industry. So that's just something to keep in mind during this process. If you're a little bit nervous about cash flow in the next year, or you just want to take advantage of a really great deal, we have that right now. Also, if you want to schedule a call or a meeting just to talk more about your specific bathroom with our team, feel free to visit us here at discover.bath2bath.com or give me a call, 614-914-6260. We are available here 8 to 5 every day, and then you can always submit requests via our website to discuss more. Shoot me pictures of your bath. We can start talking about it over the phone. See if we might be a good fit for each other.